Soul Reaver.
In a shocking turn of events, the Soul Reaver remasters coming out December 10th had something happen that is simply unheard of in today's gaming industry. The developers actually listened to the fans. Just in case you haven't been keeping up, yes, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 are getting remasters, although the Tomb Raider treatment, 4, 5, and 6 are also coming out. That's a surprise. And yes, it's this December. These remasters, we see a nice upscale change to the visuals, but lo and behold, not everyone was happy. Some of the bosses looked a bit off to the community, and now Aspire / Crystal Dynamics / Saber Interactive have taken that feedback and overhauled it. The original intent was to match the concept art from what I can gather, and now they look even better. Starting with Malkaia received a full texture overhaul with darkened skin and a slimier body feel. The bones and skeletal mapping are now more realistic and gory, and his eye color was adjusted to match the original look. I personally thought Malkaia was fine in the original take, but the darker look is a nice touch. Next up with Zephyr. Zephyr was too desaturated, so we completely repainted his face. Duma's armor is now a lot dirtier and has patches of mold and blood all over it, considering he was impaled for centuries. Rahab has undergone the biggest change. Rahab's head has been remodeled, so the eyes now have a reddish glow, which gives him a more menacing look. We've also altered his fangs to look more vampiric and made his skin color a little more gray, according to the developers. Rahab here is definitely the one that needed the most work. I think the original look, again, was going for that concept art where he looks sort of like a blowfish or something, but they definitely made him look way more horrific. It's a very good change for the positive. And finally, Kain. The models for Kain in both Soul Reaver and Soul Reaver 2 needed to be completely redesigned to mitigate texture issues. With the increased polygon count, we felt it was important to bring his look a lot closer to the Kain we see in the original FMVs, which was a lot more detailed and showed more or less what the original intent was for the character. The original model in Soul Reaver 1 was especially limited, so now both games have a Kain that looks consistent between the two titles. Kain, I still have some issues with. The intent is to match the FMV cutscenes, but also stay true to the original visuals. It seems aiming for the Soul Reaver 2 look mostly. I think they are almost there. If you want my advice, remaster devs, look to the Hilden Lord, to be specific, a fan of this series. He remastered and retooled the textures for Defiance, and while the Defiance look isn't my favorite, it looks a bit too cartoony, also a complaint from the fans about these remasters that they do look too cartoony. The textures for Kain look great here. They basically match 1-to-1 the FMVs, which is the goal that Aspire is going for. Raziel still looks fine, no changes needed. We also get a good look at the upscaled Soul Reaver menu with the option to toggle hints, compass, and the map on or off, always a good thing. And speaking of the map, the art they released here looks good as well. For new players, I can see it helping as some sort of checklist thing to do when you're looking for all the items, as well as navigate the world. So those are all the changes that we've seen so far. I wonder if they're going to show off the environments next. I think that would be a neat little thing to do. But as far as I'm concerned, I think they're heading in the right direction. I think taking in the fan community feedback is definitely the way to go, especially with how the game industry has been going the last couple of years, and it's always a positive thing to see. I hope you're excited just as me, and with all of that said, I've been Calypso, and I'll see you on December 10th, as well as the next one.